Hello and welcome to our digital afterlife, where we will talk about coping with the digital footprint of our lost loved ones. Now, whether we just take photos on our phones or utilize social media sites, most people don't put much thought into what happens to these digital profiles when they pass away. Because of that, when someone passes away, it's difficult for many of those who are living when they lose a loved one, yet the person's online presence still exists. According to Statista.com, in 2021, 82% of the population in the United States had a social networking profile. In addition, photos taken on a smartphone often will continue to pop up years after being taken as a memory, often blindsiding the user who wasn't expected to get this unsolicited and sometimes painful reminder. This document today covers some of the more popular software and apps that live on long after we do not. Please keep in mind these apps and devices are always changing, so the processes described here may also change as well. This tool will cover how to plan ahead and set up a legacy account so that when you pass, someone you trust will have access to your accounts, albeit limited. How to edit settings so that you will not get blindsided by old photos and memories. How to memorialize a deceased person's social media account. How to request a deceased person's account be deleted. All these things are very important when we're talking about the digital footprint after someone has passed or preparing your own for the event of your own passing. So let's start off here with Facebook. And it's a good one to start off with mostly for two reasons. One, it's one of the most popular, but also it encompasses many of the tools we're going to talk about with some of the other providers. Facebook offers the following ways to manage an account in event of a passing. Creating a legacy account allowing access of your account to others after you pass away, memorializing an account, requesting to have an account removed, and the ability to customize or inactivate unsolicited memory photos that appear on your phone, reminding you of a specific day, usually a year or 2 or 3 after they were taken. So let's start by talking about what's a legacy account. A legacy contact is someone that you choose to look after your main profile if it's ever memorialized after you've passed away. If you add a legacy contact, that person will be able to make decisions about your main profile once it's memorialized. So what we're going to cover here kind of applies to the other sites you're going to see that offer legacy contacts as well. This would only apply to a living person who's preparing their media sites for the event of their passing. This is not something, you're not going to set a legacy account for somebody who's already passed. That's going to be memorializing an account, which we will go over shortly. So this is, here I am, I get done with this video, I decide I want to go to my Facebook account and set up a legacy contact. A legacy contact would be someone who would have certain special privileges to my account once I pass. What would happen is my account would become memorialized. That it would be listed on my profile page on Facebook that this is in remembrance of. The legacy contact can do the following things. They can write a pinned post on the profile, so something that's going to stay there at the top of the page, and it could be a final message to the people who come across the profile. It can be info about memorial service. They can update your profile picture and cover photo, request the removal of your account entirely, or download a copy of what you shared on Facebook if you have that feature turned on. What they cannot do is they can't just log into your account and take it over as if you were still here. They can't go on and continue to post. They can't read your past messages. And they can't remove or add any new friend requests. So it's a limited capacity that they have. Your privacy, even after you pass, is still intact there. Memorializing an account is just a way to keep your account online for people who do want to pop in there and still pay respects to you. Now, requesting the removal of the account, and we'll touch on that too shortly. And some people may say, well, why would I want to do that? And that's a good question, because you do have some options that we're going to talk about as far as removing an account. But we'll do that shortly. So this is just how to add, change, or remove a legacy contact. Now, I'm not going to go over this step by step. You can screenshot this, print this out, or just go to the Facebook site and it'll walk you through it as well. But it's very simple to do, as you can see from the steps here. You do have to be 18 or older to select the legacy contact. Now, how to hide memories in the Facebook app. So these are those photos that pop up that say you have a memory today, and it's photos from a year ago, 2 years ago. Now, this feature is something you should consider sharing with your friends and people you know, because this does not relate to just people who are going through grief. You think about it, there are many times in our life that we might not want to be reminded of. Maybe a bad breakup. It could be, the year 2020 of the COVID pandemic, a divorce, things like that. So there's a couple options that Facebook gives you. One is, you can shut off your memories altogether, where you don't get any. You can just choose to receive highlights, which is kind of like a watered down version of your memories. You're not getting all of them, but there's still some that can sneak in that you might not want to see. But the best two features I like are the one where you can actually choose people or specific dates that you want to omit from your memories. So if the people in your photos are tagged, you can just say, I don't want this person's photo showing up in any of my memories, and there you go. Or if it's a specific year or years that you want to have blocked, you can do that as well. And the instructions are all here on this page as well as on the Facebook site. Now, Instagram only offers two options: memorializing an account and requesting to remove an account. Now, I'm going to kind of just touch on the requesting to remove an account before I advance the slide here. When some people, when they lose a loved one, they want to get rid of all of these surprises from coming up on their phone, and gut reaction is, well, let me just delete the accounts. Something to consider there is, once you delete an account, you cannot undelete it. It's gone. So what you're feeling today may not be what you're feeling 5 years from now. And later on, you decide you want that account back, you can't get it. Another option is to inactivate an account. So this will only work if you know the person's username and password. So you lose a spouse or a family member, and you know how to access their Facebook, you can log on and inactivate it. That'll shut it down so it's not visible to anyone. But if in a year, 3 years, whichever, you decide to reactivate that account, you can still go on and do that. Just something to think about if you have that option. So with Instagram, you would think they'd have the same features as Facebook, where they're owned by Facebook, but that is not the case. You don't get as much flexibility. As far as the memories, not much you can do there. You can shut off your notifications from Instagram to not show up on your phone, but as far as the on this day notifications, there is no way to just shut those off. And Instagram confirmed this over email, saying that much like other notifications in your activity feed, you cannot turn those off. You can control getting a notification if someone follows you or posts for the first time in a long time, but that has nothing to do with your memory features. So keep that in mind. Now, the Instagram account memorialization, kind of the same deal as Facebook. No one can log into a memorialized account. The word remembering will be shown next to the person's name on their profile. And something that's nice is memorialized accounts won't appear in other places on Instagram, like the Explore feature. Now, once memorialized, nobody can make any changes to that account's existing posts or information. They can't change any of the things you see listed here at the bottom of the page, the last 4 bullet points. So very much like Facebook's. Now, you can report a deceased person's account on Instagram. The options are memorializing, as we said, and removing the account. Now, when you want to memorialize the account, the you can do that without needing a bunch of paperwork. You don't need birth certificates, death certificates, etc. As far as removing an account, you do have to have proof as to why you're removing it. You need to have a birth certificate, death certificate, and proof that you have legal representation of that person to request that their account be deleted. So not as easy to remove account as it is to memorialize it. This brings us to Twitter, and Twitter's an easy one because they provide nothing for you. absolutely no preparation that you can do ahead of time, and nothing you can do afterwards other than request an account get discontinued and deleted. So that is it for Twitter. LinkedIn, two options: memorializing the account and requesting that the account be closed. Very similar to Instagram. Same two options there. You can look through here. Not really anything to cover that's different. Should you want to request either of the two, you can do the LinkedIn's online request form. You enter in the information. This shows you what you're going to need, and you would go about requesting it through LinkedIn. It does take, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for this process to happen. Now, two of the most important things that I wanted to get to here: Google Photos, and then we will cover Apple Photos as well. So, of them all, Google probably has the best management process on how to deal with an account in the event of a passing or preparing for beforehand. Google has something called the Inactive Account Manager we're going to spend some time talking about, and then we'll also talk about the photo memory notifications. Inactive Account Manager, it's one of the more complete tools for taking care of your digital legacy on any of the sites, because this covers not just if you pass, this covers if you are inactive for a set amount of time. So maybe you go ill, you're incapacitated, whichever. Here's what happens. You go into the account manager ahead of time, and the inactive account manager, and there are some steps. First, you're going to decide how long should it take before your inactive account manager kicks in and enacts on your behalf. So what you're doing here is you're going to go in and choose whether it's 3, 6, 12, or 18 months. Once that happens, let's say I went in there and I chose 3 months. Okay, if I am inactive on my Google account for 3 months, now Google account is your sign on, your whichever at gmail.com that we use to get on our Android phones. We also have YouTube, which is owned by Google, Google Drive, Google Photos, etc. If you're inactive for 3, 6, 12, or 18 months, and you choose one of those and you go inactive, what's going to happen is a notification is going to go out. And it's going to try to contact who you have listed. Now, you can list up to 10 people who should be notified by Google that your account hasn't been used. For each person, you can specify exactly which apps they can have access to, ranging from your calendar and contacts to your Google account and purchases. You can also just give them access to everything. But what will happen is they'll get notified that, hey, you've gone inactive. Now, Google will try to contact you first before reaching out to them, using the phone number and email addresses that you have listed for yourself. But if you do not reply, they are going to reach out to these people and give them access. A nice thing here to think about is the Google Calendar in particular. If you are the caretaker of a child or somebody else who no one else knows their meetings, their appointments, etc., it's nice because Google Calendar keeps track of a lot of that, as well as your Gmail. If you have things in your Gmail, if you are incapacitated or in any shape no longer, let's say you pass away and you've got appointments for your children, for your relatives, and they were in your calendar, it's nice to know somebody else will be able to just go in there and have access to that, and it'd be less of a burden on everyone involved. If you want, you can add the name and phone number, the people that you're adding in there as contacts. You can also activate a Gmail message to anyone who emails you after the manager kicks in. So if I say, okay, after 3 months, if I'm inactive, go ahead and make my account inactive. Well, you can have a Gmail message that goes out to people who email you. You can have a specific message that goes out to people who are on your contact list, and a message that goes out to just the public in general, bill collectors, whichever might come knocking. That just goes out and says, that your account's inactive, whatever it is you choose, however you choose to write it. Perhaps leaving a name and a phone number of one of your close contacts that can be reached for further information. And lastly, you can arrange for your entire account to be deleted 3 months after it's declared inactive. So That's YouTube videos, Google, anything at all you shared, any data you've put into Google, you can have it wiped. So if I chose, okay, after 6 months, make my account inactive, um, that day would come, my account would go inactive. Then 3 months later, the account could be pulled entirely if you choose that option. Most importantly, with this inactive account manager, it's very detailed, has a lot of options. When you go and set it up, don't do this, sitting in the car when you have a couple of minutes to kill. This is something you want to sit down, put some thought into. Be prepared to really review what it is you're entering. Now, the Google Photo Memory Management, again, like the others, with the option of choosing uh, a spotlight, recent highlights, things 1 year ago, you can really drill down on what it is you want to see in your memories, if anything at all. You can block particular photos, going through the settings. You can be very detailed in terms of what it is that you see. Apple, not as polished as the Google inactive account manager, but you can do the legacy account and you can customize your memory photos so that you'll only get what you want to see. Now, to set up your legacy contacts, you have this process here. Again, I'm not going to go through this line by line. Very similar to the others. You can also pull this up on your Apple account. Now, with Apple's photo memory, you can customize the memories that come up on your device. This is similar to the Google and Facebook features, where you can go in there and shut off memories entirely, or edit it down to specific types of memories. Now, with Apple having different operating systems coming out regularly, they do have different sets of instructions. They don't change all too much, but I have a couple of them listed here. This is the iOS 14 instructions and iOS 15 here, and a Mac device, a standalone Mac device. My advice on the Apple one in particular would be to go off the site, get the directions directly from them, because guaranteed that there are going to be a lot more operating systems. The second I save this video, they're probably already making another one. So get the updated info from them. And with any of these programs that we looked at, any of these sites, any of these apps, keep in mind, again, it's technology. It's always changing. Things are always being tweaked. Features are being added. Features are being taken out. So you may have to do a little bit of homework on your end on that specific site. But hopefully this presentation just helps you see the tools that you have out there. Again, it's not something that I think we put enough thought into until we're looking at a phone one day, months after we lost somebody, and that memory comes up and kind of kicks us in the gut, and gets us thinking, what do I do? And the gunshot reaction is, oh, I got to delete their accounts because this is too painful. Well, we do have other options. And if you have further questions or just anything you want to cover, I'd love to speak with you. You can throw a comment in the video. You can reach out to me. My contact information is here at the bottom of this slide, and would love to discuss ideas or questions you have and possibly make some edits and adjustments to future videos. Thank you again for watching, and have a good day.